What are the resources or God's gifts that is given to you at Grace or through Grace that you think God uses?
Oh, there's so many, and there's so many that I probably don't even am not even fully aware of. But I'm back on council, and there's a wonderful group of people on council, and so many people that are giving to Grace in so many ways beyond just being on council. Actually, I was used to be a part of the worship and music, and I am not doing that now, but I see so many people out, up there still doing it, and I'd love to get back to it at some point. And so much gratitude for the people who are there, who are leading us in worship and you know, putting out great music. And so I really appreciate that.
Mhm.
There's committees doing so many other things, the outreach committee that's doing going and doing home visits, property, I mean, so many subcommittees, people doing so much work to keep Grace alive and keep it moving and keep it alive in the community.
Well, people here have a lot of talents, and I think the talents that they have that come naturally to them are the ones that they share with others here at church. Quilters, people that make flower arrangements, people that go visit the other people in our church who need hospitality in a few ways. There's been several times in my life when I've had some hardships, and people from church have reached out to me, and that has helped. That has really helped.
Since both of us have been heavily involved in the music program for years, yeah, I think that is definitely a resource and a talent that God has given us
Hmm.
individually and together.
In years past, I taught Sunday school for a while
Mm.
before children, before we had our own kids, and then
Hmm.
got a little bit busy. I had a youth choir for a while. A couple of kids had guitars, and they could play along with some of these lighter religious songs that kids were singing back then. This was back in the early 70s. So those are also two ways that I've contributed personally.
Mhm.
I also have directed the chancel choir in the
Right.
past as a sub.
But the music with the people, not only the choir members, we often don't know who we affect or how with what we do. And I think that's true with the music program as well.
Well, I think the resource that I have is building friendships and relationships, and that has stood out in my not only here at Grace, I think, but it stood out in my work history. And
Okay.
I think maybe some people call me a social butterfly, you know. So, but that's just who I am. So, and I feel so. I don't take offense to that because to me that's all about people, and it's all about building relationships and finding out, letting people know what resources and talents that you have that may be utilized by the church. It's God's work, our hands, and that's a resource that really does allow you to get involved in the community and do things for God's work. And that's been something that has been part of the Lutheran Church and this church for a long time. And I really think it's important to be involved in those types of things. It's not only part of the church, but it's giving back to the community. And the community is such a big part of Grace Lutheran.